Hey guys, welcome back to Cajun Horror Talk. I'm Jay.
And Ross.
Today we're talking about 1978's Halloween.
Totally.
So grab a beer, grab a cup of coffee.
Let's talk horror.
All right, guys, 1978's Halloween. We are finally here.
I'm so fucking excited. You have
Look,
no
we made
idea.
it a point, guys, not to make Halloween one of our first videos.
Because we both love it so much, and we wanted to get decent at what we were doing, which I think we've become. I hope we
yeah,
have.
we're getting there.
We're trying. We're trying, you guys.
We're just shy of half-ass.
We're there. It looks like a quarter ass.
Yeah, something like that. It's one cheek.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like what I got in high school.
So before we get started, remember, if you like what we're doing, guys, make sure y'all subscribing. We're getting a lot of plays, not many followers. So make sure y'all hitting the follow button, liking videos, liking podcasts, crap like that. Getting some downloads so we can get our numbers up and people can quit hating us.
I love when you say we're getting lots of play. We sound like Michael Lowry. a lot of play, guys.
Yeah.
Get some play.
The wrong mic.
Not the guy from Austin Powers either.
No.
Not that guy.
No, not that guy
Not
either.
that Mike Myers.
So,
Everybody
Halloween,
knows this story.
right?
Where are we going
Wait,
from?
hang on.
We'll start
Runtime of 1 hour 31 minutes.
Yeah.
Made it on a budget of $325,000
Amazing. That's one of the ones that always amazed me.
and came out with a gross of $47 million.
Yeah.
So, cast.
Well done.
Everybody knows the cast of this movie. Jamie Lee Curtis, of course, plays Laurie Strode.
Absolutely. For years and years.
The great Donald Pleasance, the late great Donald Pleasance, plays Dr.
Yeah.
Sam Loomis.
And he wasn't from here. He'd be Donald Pleasance.
Yeah, that's true. That's no shit.
He would be.
Actually, not the way they spell it here.
Yeah, it'd still be the same. I have an aunt who's a
I
Hebert.
think it's Nancy Keys plays Annie. PJ Souls plays Linda.
Is it Keys or Kais?
Maybe, I don't know, one of them.
It's Keys or Kais. I'm sorry. Keys or Kais.
Charles Cyphers plays Sheriff Brackett.
Yeah.
Kyle Richards plays Lindsay. Before
Yeah,
she
which-
was on
I have
Real Housewives.
I have a lot to say about that because I have a lot to say about that.
Brian Andrews plays Tommy. You know she's coming back in the new one, right?
Is she really?
Yeah, she is.
Oh, dear God.
John Michael Graham plays Bob. And Nancy Stevens plays Marion, who is also coming back in the new one.
So you're saying that your girl that played Lindsay in the original is coming back for the
She's
the
playing
Halloween
Lindsay in the new one, yeah. And
That was
Halloween
like
Kills.
that might be like a 42-year long old burn that they were just waiting to make.
Right.
Oh, we're gonna get to that.
Yeah, people were kind of upset though because
You played Tommy.
Yeah, they recast Tommy twice. Which I can't complain about Paul Rudd. So
Nobody can complain.
Everybody knows the plot of Halloween, guys. Michael Myers kills
You know
his
what?
sister.
Let's just go ahead and assume the fact that maybe y'all don't know, as somebody once pointed out to me because I got into an argument doing this podcast. After he kills his sister Judith Myers,
Yes.
and he is put into
mental
Smith's
hospital.
Grove in the mental hospital, he does not return to kill his sister. That is not what the fuck happens in this movie.
No, guys,
all.
this is not.
Laurie Strode in this
Despite what
movie.
many think, the
This is not the
brother
original
sister
intent.
angle, unlike Alabama,
was not the intent.
was not the intent. It was not until the sequel where John Carpenter said, "Fuck it, I'll make her his sister."
Yeah.
that was brought in. In this movie, they are not brother
They're
and
not
sister.
brother and sister. Laurie Strode is
fact-
a random. This was like the random babysitter murders.
In
That's what
fact,
it was supposed to be.
I was gonna wait to the end to bring this up because when you and I watched this movie,
Oh, my bad. Sorry.
when you and I watched this movie yesterday,
Yes.
I wanted to remember. I said, "Ooh, I just thought of something."
Yeah, you did. I remember being aggravated because I hate when you fucking do that. You know I don't like the build up. Just fucking tell
Yeah.
me, dude.
Had Laurie not gone over there, he wouldn't have fucked with her.
Shit.
The argument can be made that he was more after Annie than Laurie.
He was, because it wasn't until Laurie went into the house looking for Annie
Yeah.
that he even keyed up on her. That's a very
He
good
never.
point.
No, every time Tommy saw him out the window, he wasn't looking at their house. He was looking at Annie.
Yeah. That's very true. That's actually a very good point.
It's not until Laurie goes there and puts her fucking nose in his business.
Hey, that woman is a scream queen. You leave her alone.
Not as good as Jesse.
he
The argument could be made that Jesse's the bigger queen.
He's a better scream queen. Yeah.
But
Could have been.
until she went and put her nose in his business, he didn't give a fuck about Laurie.
That is actually
he followed
a very
her home and shit
valid
like that. But
point.
number one, he followed her home. He was watching. He was a freak in the sheets. Favorite meme ever, by the way.
Yes.
But he was staring at her through the window and whatnot. But he was just being a perv there. He doesn't go after her. He watches Annie drop her off, but he doesn't go after her.
Yeah.
He goes after Annie.
You're actually very. I didn't even think about that from that aspect or that angle, but that would be a totally different franchise if she would have just stayed the fuck at the house.
Yeah.
But of course, you need that. You need that interaction.
Because then think about it. He wasn't even after.
Look, maybe the fans picked up on that and they were like, you know what? It needs to be his sister. It needs to be.
Even Linda wouldn't have got fucked with, but her and Bob showed up in some stranger's house to go get laid.
That was such a weird scene because not only you're in some random person's house,
smoking,
not random. You know who the people are because it's a small community and shit.
Still don't live there.
You still don't fucking live there, but you're smoking in these people's houses. You're fucking in these people's houses in different bedrooms. The person who you're supposed to be visiting is not there because she spilled butter on herself and got stuck. I'm doing air quotes for people listening to the podcast.
I saw a video on Pornhub like that.
I saw, that started just like that. I'm stuck in this washing machine. What should I do? Somebody help. Somebody help.
Okay, now we're getting ahead of ourselves.
Okay, yeah. We're definitely getting ahead of ourselves.
Can we talk about how, first off, Jamie Lee Curtis was pretty much cast because of her mom?
Yes, that's actually, I know you see the screen, what I got going on in the background and shit. Her mom, one of the original Scream Queens from a little movie somebody may have heard of before called Psycho.
Oh, really? Never heard of it.
Some people may not have heard of that. No, we're not talking about Vince Vaughn masturbating in a peephole. We're talking about
not Christian Bale cutting people up with a chainsaw.
No, not that one. Not the American Psycho. This is the
Psycho wasn't set in America.
What?
Psycho wasn't set in America.
Well, yeah, it was, but he wasn't the American Psycho. He might have been the Irish Psycho that was set in America. You don't know. I don't know. Not really sure. But yeah, Jamie Lee Curtis's mother was one of the original Scream Queens, and in an interview with Jamie Lee, she actually spoke about it when her mother passed away. Rest in peace. She was known as a Psycho actress. Dies at I don't remember what age she was born at, but it's been that.
But Jamie Lee Curtis said that too. When she's gonna die,
when she dies, Halloween actress dies.
It's gonna be Halloween
she passes
actress.
away, and it's. We had a conversation during the week about this, about a little Mr. Diabetes. Rest in peace.
Yeah.
A very accredited actor. His name escapes me at the moment. What's his name?
I don't remember. Y'all brought it up to me.
Well, we brought it up to you because Anthony Brimley.
Yep.
Mr. Anthony Wilford Brimley just passed away recently. Rest in peace. He was accredited to a plethora of movies, ridiculous movies that I didn't even realize he was in. This dude was all over freaking Hollywood. He wasn't even like Bonanza and Gunsmoke. He was in a Star Wars movie. This dude was everywhere. And what do we remember him as?
Diabetes. No,
so,
in case y'all don't remember, I think it was like the early 2000s. Late
we
90s.
might be speaking to a younger crowd that don't know.
Yeah, late 90s. There was
it's the guy they're making fun of in Family Guy. Like, I punched my wife, and I found out my wife's been dead for 5 years. Who the hell did I punch? Diabetes. That's the Family Guy episode. That's off of an old diabetes commercial that this gentleman played and got stuck in that role. Yep. All the things that were credited to him. Now, Jamie Lee Curtis has had many movies.
True Lies, babe.
True Lies. That was
sexy.
Arnold Schwarzenegger. Yeah, Arnold Schwarzenegger. Where she was doing a thing. She was in the Freaky Friday movie, wasn't it? Yeah. She's done a lot of things.
Chick.
Yeah. All right, but whenever anybody,
I think she's scarier than Michael Myers.
Anybody thinks Jamie Lee Curtis, they immediately think
Halloween.
Laurie Strode. Yeah. Halloween. She's been in that cast for so long. She's such a scream queen. And this. Introducing Laurie Strode. This was Laurie Strode. This was Jamie Lee Curtis' first movie.
Her career really didn't take off after Halloween.
No, it wasn't until
I think she did an episode of Love Boat with her mom.
Yeah, it was like a TV show or something. She did an episode I remember.
And that was it. And until like 82, she went back and did Halloween 2, and then from there she kind of went up.
Yeah,
it was kind of weird. Can we talk about how
we went movies all over the place? And of course,
how can we start this off and not talk about John Carpenter?
Okay.
Right? I mean, John Carpenter, this was his vision. This was his movie. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And, I mean, he did the score. He did directing. He was a producer. He was a writer. This was his vision.
This was his masterpiece.
Yes.
This was
yes, some people say this was his masterpiece.
This was his Mona Lisa.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Absolutely. 100%. This was his stamp on America and
the score, like he talks about the score, how it was so simple. It was like the first thing his dad ever taught him on piano.
He talks about that score as a separate personality inside of this movie.
Yeah.
And he'll He's even seen people that are screen testing this movie whenever it was first being put. And he noticed that a lot of people would either, like, put their fingers in their ears. They would do that, and he thought, man, the score must suck. Everybody doesn't want to hear it. And they were like, no, it's not as scary without the score.
Yeah. Well, when they first tested it without the score, there was one person who told him it's just not scary.
Yeah, because
when they put the score in, people, it was ridiculous.
People were like trying to hide from the score, and he says it. The score developed its own personality. Dude, the Michael Myers fucking Halloween score is up there.
Oh, when that when that kicks on, man,
you immediately recognize it. We talked about it in a video yesterday.
Yeah.
Jaws, the dum.
Yep.
You immediately attribute that to the movie. You know where it comes from. You don't have to think. It's just it's there.
Exactly.
That's this Halloween theme song. Everybody fucking knows where it comes from, and every Halloween people have it as ringtones and shit.
Yeah.
It's just this has been 1978. This was 42 years later.
Yeah. 2018 was 40 years after.
Yeah. Okay. Good. Yeah. Good job, Jay. Thank you. Fuck you. And people are still using this as ringtones and Halloween to scare shit. So this is you talk about the movies you watch every Halloween and you binge watch. This is one of my tops. I'll watch this.
Not even just Halloween. I'll watch this for Christmas.
Anytime.
Watch this for my birthday. I'll watch this for my kid's birthday.
This was one of my growing up, one of my fucking movies that I felt. I loved the character growing up of Sam Loomis. I loved Dr. Loomis.
Here's the crazy part about this movie for me, though. This is a movie that is my favorite movie. Probably if I had to...
It's up there. We're going to have to fight about that on a Trapped on an Island movie.
If I am even Trapped on an Island with any movie, it's in my top 3.
Yeah.
And here's the crazy reason why. Growing up, as I've said many times, my family was a big horror family. Not my dad. My dad was a chicken shit.
That happens.
My mom was a big horror fan and had us watching horror movies from when we were young. This is the only movie that scared me. Ever.
Yeah, I remember being scared by this as a child.
I remember
it. It's Boogeyman. It was so...
No, not just that.
No, that's exactly what got me as a kid.
I know what scared me about this because my mom looked at me one time we were watching this and said, you know what scares me about Michael Myers? It's possible.
Yeah.
It freaked me the fuck out.
Realistic, dude.
Because I'm not scared of Freddy because it's bullshit. He comes in your dreams. Yeah. That's not real.
Pussy.
Jason died and he was
hundreds of times. That's not realistic.
He drowned as a child and came back. Bullshit.
Yeah.
Michael Myers
He's just a man.
was a crazy man.
He's just a crazy man.
He's a crazy person.
Yes, he is a crazy person. Nice.
Hey, TJ, that's for you, dog.
Yeah. Thanks for listening.
Yeah. He's a crazy person.
He's a crazy person. Yeah.
That's it. There's no other impetus in this.
Yeah, you don't want to get involved with that at all. You want to get the fuck away.
He just happened to break into a store and steal that mask.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
And everybody knows the story of the mask. But we're talking about movie-wise right now.
Exactly. He breaks into a store and steals a mask and goes on this fucking bender.
And he's just like, fuck, this is his drug. Murder is his drug.
Yeah.
He just wants to kill.
It's one of the most realistic horror movies in history. This and like Black Christmas.
Yeah. Which, when we get back, and I'm glad you brought up Black Christmas, actually, because the slasher timeline, which is something that, unfortunately, I'm such a nerd, I didn't have to actually look up.
Yeah, most of the shit we had to look up for this.
I didn't have to look up for this particular podcast, but when you look at relevant slasher films, this movie is one of the ones that sparked the 80s slasher.
Which is what they were hoping 2018 was going to do.
It was going to hope it was going to revamp the slasher craze.
Yeah, but it would have if
the
not
fucking pandemic.
Not the pandemic, not really. Fucking Friday the 13th with their fucking legal battles and shit, worrying about who gets $3 from what.
I'm not even getting into the Friday the 13th
Fuck them.
bullshit.
You know what I mean?
Well, when you look back at
Nightmare's fucked.
Nightmare's fucked. The slasher timeline, when you go 1960, you think about you immediately have Psycho, Norman Bates, the crazy person. Yep. Also, Peeping Tom, not as much of a well-known movie.
Yeah, not as well-known, but still pretty creepy.
From 60 to 74, and in 74, Black Christmas and the Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Yes.
It was still an open idea, and it was starting to get that traction.
Yeah, but Texas Chainsaw was kind of shunned because it was more viewed as a snuff film.
It was instantly it was over the top, which they talk about how gory it was. There's not that much gore in that fucking movie.
It's like this movie. This movie, you don't see blood.
No, at all. And people... They think so much about how gory it was.
You didn't get gore until you get Friday the 13th.
That was years afterwards. But from 1960 to 1974, the 14-year gap when you get Black Christmas and Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and it hasn't hit its peak yet where it's starting to fuck this slasher craze. 4 years later, John Carpenter comes through with this masterpiece that $300,000 budget.
Yeah, nobody wanted to make this movie. Yeah. And it sparked... If not for Malek Akkad, this movie wouldn't have got made.
Yeah. And it just became this staple in history of horror.
And also thank God for Malek Akkad because he took this movie and just launched it.
Yeah.
To where Michael Myers became like a child to him. In fact, there's a rule in that studio that there's one rule when you make a Halloween movie, you're not allowed to kill Michael Myers.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So thank God for Malika Cobb. We never got the sequels. No wrong. Had the sequels never happened, I wouldn't have complained. But thank God we have them. It just gives us more to talk about.
Absolutely, and it goes into this. Without this, you don't get your Jasons.
No,
because Friday the 13th, they saw the success.
They literally say it in the documentary. They called and said, "Hey, have you seen Halloween? Let's rip it off."
Crystal Lake Memories was the name of the
documentary. Yeah, it's on Shudder and stuff like that. In fact, I think you can find it on YouTube.
It's a really good watch. Do not watch it around your children, though.
No, there are lots of boobies.
There's titty everywhere, all over the freaking screen.
That's 10.
That's 10. Oh, jeez. We're gonna make it. I want to get a few videos of me screaming that into the microphone.
Right. That's for you, Mom.
That's for you, Mom. Oh dear God, sorry about the Karen jokes.
Oh, I didn't think about that.
Yeah.
So, but no, you start seeing, even as a young director, John Carpenter had it, man. That one shot, the insistence. Most of the budget in this went to Donald Pleasance.
Yeah.
And to be able to use, I think it was called Panaglide at the time, which was the wide frame cameras.
Well, one of the shots that stuck out to me, and I pointed it out to you when we were watching it in the movies, is a scene at the end of the movie where she backs up into this darkened hallway.
Oh yeah, they use the 1 watt
light bulb. 1 watt light bulb that they slowly dimmed up.
The dimmer switch.
Yeah, and you see him just appear, and it's something, and it's not like a jump scare where all of a sudden he's fucking there. It's this very slow reveal.
Yep.
And it made it so much fucking creepier.
Oh, yeah. Well, I'm talking about the one shot at the beginning when, as a child, when he walks up to the house and you see him go to his door and he looks in the window.
There's never a broken moment of camera. No. It's steady filming.
There's one break in that entire scene, and it's when the mask comes on.
Well, yeah.
And they put the mask on. I think.
I don't know why his sister decided she was going to put on just some panties. Judith going to put on some panties and
just combs their hair,
brush her hair naked
with the door open.
With the door open and your little brother downstairs. I just.
Well, I don't think she was expecting to be home. I think he was supposed to be trick or treating. Which who sends their brother out trick or treating by himself?
Well, this was also 78. Yeah, it was a 78, man. And Tony Moran.
Yes.
All right. He was so fucking creepy in this movie.
Tony Moran?
God, yes.
Well, the reason they put him in that role, which still angers me to this day, because it should have been Nick Castle.
Why did they have him at age 23?
Because he's only Michael Myers when he's older. He's the guy who gets.
I know, but Michael Myers is 21 in this movie.
Was he?
He was 21. He was 6 years old in 1963. This movie takes place in 78. That's. How much? Maybe. Check my math. Give me a second.
Yeah, well, anyways, Tony Moran was. They were looking for someone with an angelic face. That was the reason why they pulled Tony Moran. They didn't use Nick Castle. Because Nick Castle just looked like any other guy. They said they were looking for somebody with, like, movie star looks.
Yeah. So, I'm sitting here trying to do math, and I don't even have to fucking think about it that damn hard if you think about the movies. He was 6 years old 15 years later.
Yeah.
21.
Yeah, no.
He's not 23.
It's IMDb, dude.
Sorry. Good job, IMDb, making me do math on the podcast.
Right. So, but yeah, that's why Tony Moran was cast. I personally think they should have used Nick Castle.
I like Nick Castle's Michael Myers. I loved the way Tony Moran moved. I really do.
He was only in the one scene where she rips his mask off. That's it.
Wait. No, I'm sorry. You telling me that he wasn't Michael the entire time?
No. Nick Castle was Michael the entire time.
I didn't think Nick Castle was cast till the second one.
No, Dick Warlock was
Warlock was the second one.
Yeah. The only scene that...
Oh, cool. See, I did not know that.
Yeah,
you're teaching me shit on the podcast.
The only scene Tony Moran is in is when she pulls his mask off at the end.
Okay.
And because when they reviewed his face, they wanted an angelic face. That was the exact thing they were looking for.
Okay. When I was looking through this, I didn't realize because I have them listed as just credited.
That's what you see. If you scroll up, you see Nick Castle. He is credited as the Shape.
That's what it is. He was still credited as a Shape at this point.
Yeah, which a bunch of people played Michael in this. One scene, it's Deborah Hill plays Michael as a child.
Okay, yeah, that's where he reaches down with the hand and grabs the mask. I knew that.
And stabbing Judith. That was...
well, that was the hand.
Yeah. And then Jamie Lee Curtis actually did a scene as Michael.
Oh, he is cast as a shape. Okay, I apologize. My B.
Jamie Lee Curtis actually did a scene as Michael, I think. I remember reading
in this movie?
Yes. Yeah. They needed somebody just for like B-roll.
Nice.
So she just threw the mask on and the overalls and went stand in a certain spot.
Okay, so I apologize. Nick Castle's movements as Michael Myers.
Because it's one of the famous things. Everybody knows this, guys. If you're a hardcore Halloween fan, you know this already. Nick Castle was looking for like motivation or like what's the essence of my character. And he's like, how do you want me to walk? And John Carpenter's like, just walk.
Yeah. And creepy. He creeped the fuck out of me. I love the way he adopted that. And see, I'm talking about Nick Castle. I'm still stuck on Tony Moran, which I thought I didn't think that was the only scene. I thought he was in multiple of the scenes, though.
No, literally the only scene he is. Every other scene is Nick Castle.
Okay. See, I knew Nick Castle was him, but I didn't realize he was him the entire time. I sincerely thought Tony Moran had more than just that one scene.
It was serendipitous that Nick Castle was Michael Myers because he was literally just showing up on scene because he knew John Carpenter. So he was coming visit and just checking out how the movie was going. And John Carpenter's like,
"Hey, I'd read about that." But
see, you want to throw the mask on? You could be the shape.
And see, that's another reason why I sincerely thought, because there are all the articles and shit that you're reading crap. I thought it was just him sporadically throughout the movie. I didn't realize he was.
And it's kind of one of those things, kind of like with 2018, where everybody was, how many roles Nick Castle has as the Sheep in 2018? He's actually only in one scene.
Yeah.
The rest of it is James Jude Courtney. But he moves just like Nick Castle. He studied Nick Castle.
And see, I love the movements. The movements were so fucking wild.
He moved just like Nick Castle.
It was so creepy.
Yep.
Just as moving. The fucking sit-up
which makes you question kind of like John Carpenter wanting Nick Castle to play that role. He's kind of like, look, you walk like a serial killer.
Yeah. Is it.
You move like a serial killer, bro.
You move good. Exactly like a crazy person would. You're a crazy person.
He even breaks through the door.
Yeah. Oh God, I hate you so much.
So, negatives. Do you have any negatives that you could think of?
The clunky dialogue, and I didn't notice it as much until you pointed out, and then I started critiquing this damn movie.
Well, and here's the thing. I give Halloween a pass on dialogue.
Totally. One more time, I was going to throw something. I was going to
it's a drinking game.
The TV.
It's a drinking game.
I know it is, but it fucks with me so much.
Dude, could you imagine taking a shot every time she says totally?
I wouldn't be able to finish the podcast.
I could.
You might be able to. I wouldn't.
We've shown I could do it.
yeah. I'm sure there were a couple people there for that one.
Yeah. Well, if you watch Zombievers, I'm pretty sure I did enough shots to where I could have covered every time she said totally.
She says totally so fucking much.
Yeah, and it's so just clunk dialogue.
But of course, you also have to attribute that to not only the 70s, but it's also a new project. It was something he was just feeling. This is still his masterpiece.
It's technically a low budget movie.
It is $300,000 for this back, and that was very low budget for the things that they had to accomplish during this fucking movie.
Well, considering most of the budget went to Donald Pleasance.
Yeah, I read that
because Donald Pleasance was a pretty big actor at the time, man.
Dude, well, he has one of the greatest monologues and shit when he's talking about Michael Myers and the pure evil.
Yeah, the darkest eyes, the
devil's eyes.
Yep,
the evil is gone. He was definitely great. That's one of the reasons I loved Donald Pleasance in this fucking movie. Sam Loomis was
him and Quint can monologue like no one else.
Oh yeah, Quint from Jaws.
Yes, man. Yeah, because without this movie, without
this movie, we'd be fucked.
Donald Pleasance, this movie is fucked. Donald
Probably.
Pleasance gave you a reason to be scared of Michael Myers.
Well, I loved this fucking Sam Loomis character altogether, which is why I was so upset in the remake whenever
they made him a dick.
I hated the.
Thank you, Rob Zombie.
I hated the bloodthirsty aspect of he was trying to sell books and he was a dick.
Yeah,
he was. I hated that.
Fuck you, Rob Zombie. Because
he killed a character that I had loved.
Yeah.
I absolutely loved his character.
2 roadblocks on APB wouldn't stop a 5-year-old.
Although I have to wonder why the hell he was standing in front of that house for so long before he recognized the fucking vehicle that Michael was driving.
No shit.
He stood in front of that house for a very long time.
Lonnie. Hey, Lonnie. Get your ass away from there.
It's fucking great. But he's in front of the house, and the car that Michael Myers is driving is...
It's like 2 blocks down.
Dude, not only that, but it's in the background of one of the scenes where he's standing in front of the hardware store. Michael's just taking a hard left like, this motherfucker don't see me. This shit is easy.
They see me rolling.
Yeah. That's like, you ever...
Why was the hardware store closed midday?
I don't know, but it was close enough that Michael had to break into it to steal the thing.
Yeah,
I think
alarm was still going off.
That scene with Michael that he's driving the fucking SUV right behind Dr.
Not
Loomis.
It's a car.
It was a station wagon. Thank you, not SUV. The station wagon. When he's driving it, he makes that left behind. I always think back of Penn and Teller.
Yes.
The magicians, they do that card trick where he takes a card out and he puts the card on top of the deck and there's a fake shuffle and he says, "You believe that your card's on the middle of this deck?" And the guy goes, yeah. And he goes, "Well, you see, a lot of people wonder why magic works. And the reason is right there. People wonder why horror works. It's because motherfuckers have their backs turned when everybody's running around behind them. If anybody was at least a little bit alert to the surroundings that were going on around them, 90% of these horror movies would not be fucking made."
You see, I used to judge people in horror movies like that until I had somebody walk through my house.
Yeah, I remember you called me that night.
I had a stranger walk through my house, and I didn't realize who it was. I thought it was my wife.
Yeah.
Until my wife walked out of another room and it freaked me the hell out.
Yeah.
So I kind of get where they're coming from. When you're distracted and you're doing something else and you're not paying attention, weird shit can happen around you.
I get it.
I could have been, my entire family could have been murdered that night and I wouldn't have fucking realized it until it was too late.
This is a small community. You're driving around a station wagon with a fucking albino William Shatner mask on and nobody notices you? I get it's Halloween, but still.
Yeah.
Look, we go out on Halloween. If I go up take my son fucking trick-or-treat and there's this tall guy in a mechanic fucking jumpsuit and a white mask and he's just standing there staring at me like, dude, you got a fucking problem? What?
Well, they kind of handled Michael Myers in this movie kind of like they did Bruce in Jaws. You realize that, right?
God. They didn't blow him up.
No. Not this the second one.
Not in this one.
That's the second one.
Not in this one.
This movie is 1 hour and 31 minutes.
Yeah.
You don't see his face up close until 1 hour and 8 minutes in. When he strangles
Annie.
No.
Not Linda.
Linda.
When he strangles Linda.
Because even in Annie, it's the window's misty and you just kind of see a vague outline of him. And
yeah.
Even when he stabs Bob, you don't ever see him up close. He just comes through.
Okay, can we talk about the Bob?
What about the Bob?
What about Bob?
Oh, the conversation in the van?
Yeah. Bob, all right, so this
like I said, I watch this movie regularly.
This slipped through the cracks so much that I didn't even catch it whenever he stopped the movie and told me what he just said. I'm like, yeah, what the fuck's wrong?
Yeah.
So
the game plan, as they pull up to Lindsay's house.
Yeah.
They pull up to Lindsay's house to go see Annie. And she says, okay, so here's the plan. We're going to go inside. We're going to talk for a little while. Annie's going to distract Lindsay. And then we're going to go upstairs. And he goes, okay, so what you're telling me is I'm going to rip your clothes off and you're going to rip my clothes off. And together we're going to rip Lindsay's clothes off.
Yeah. And he stops the movie and I'm like, yeah, so they're about to have like some fun. And he goes, dude, Lindsay's the girl. I'm like, yeah, oh.
Yeah, Lindsay's a 6-year-old.
She's a 6-year-old. And you're drunk in a van talking about ripping her clothes off.
With creepy glasses on.
You're in a fucking pedo van with creepy glasses on talking about ripping clothes off of a fucking 6-year-old.
You look like Dahmer.
I've seen this movie so many times and that has slipped through the cracks every time I fucking watched it. Did not realize he fucking says that. That's some real... I'm glad he's dead.
Yeah.
I'm glad he died.
That's not even something you joke about.
No.
And we make some fucked up jokes.
Well, I make some fucked up jokes. You don't make... And the fucked up thing of it is your girl just laughs. Yeah. She thinks it's funny.
Yeah.
He wants to rip the clothes off the 6-year-old. What the fuck? No.
No.
You want to do what? Yeah, no. I'm going in this house alone.
Yeah. No.
No. Stop.
Oh, it's ridiculous. Yeah,
he called that.
I misheard it. I misheard it. I paused it. I'm like,
no, because I guess, and I told you whenever we watch it, in my mind, I'm always thinking like, yeah, he's talking about the girl and another girl, and it's gonna go. And then I'm not even thinking the little girl's name is Lindsay because it never crossed my mind.
Yeah, Lindsay Wallace, man.
Well, I know that. You think Tommy Doyle and Lindsay Wallace, I know that, but in the context of what he's talking about, they never even registered that he's talking about the little girl.
Yeah. It's freaking creepy.
Fuck you, dude. You're glad you died and Michael stared at you from every angle.
Which, awesome ad-lib by Nick Castle, by the way.
Head tilt became such a thing. It was Michael Myers admiring a piece of art.
They almost overuse it later.
In the original, it was so well done because it was just like, what is he doing?
He stabs him, and it kind of reminds you of a dog. You know when a dog will cock his head?
And he's kind of like trying to figure shit out.
Yeah, like,
What the fuck?
Although with Michael is well known for decorating a crime scene.
Yeah, absolutely.
So he stabbed him and it's like, can I hang him somewheres? Or should I just like paint the wall
and
with him?
It immediately, it looks like the murder is how we talked about murder being his drug. It's almost like where he's admiring it like a piece of art.
Yeah, well, you see that later when he poses the bodies.
Yeah.
You got Annie.
And you see that.
Annie laid out with the
Judith Myers,
thing.
headstone behind him.
Yeah, you got Linda folded up like a pretzel in the closet.
Yeah.
And then he hung Bob from the ceiling.
Yeah, he did. Good for you, Michael. You know what? The world's better without Bob.
Yep. But you even get that later on.
You get that in the remake. You get that in fucking 2. You get that where he like strategically stashes bodies in different, and it's not all for hiding purposes. It's like
look what it's kind of like a cat when they bring you a rat.
Like a dead bird or something.
Yeah.
Like, hey, look what I got. Look what I did.
I did it for you.
He was trying to do stuff, so I killed him for you.
Yeah.
Later on, I'm gonna rip out 9 of my eyelashes and mail them to you.
Yo, what is it? 6 when he hangs the dude up in the tree with the Christmas lights? Yeah, it's 6.
It's 6. It has to be the
radio
curse.
DJ.
Yeah.
He makes it's art.
Bloody art.
Yes.
It's fucking fantastic. One of the reasons I love this fucking movie so much. It's so fucking ridiculous, and it was so. It really was ahead of its time, which is why it didn't get the traction when it first came out.
Yeah, not many jump scares.
Surprisingly, not
a lot of suspense.
Yeah, the tension was built up a lot during the score of the movie.
Yeah, there were times in this movie though where shit just wasn't right. And I noticed more now that I'm doing a podcast.
I noticed some of the sloppy cuts that were done. I pointed out the knife that was still on the ground downstairs.
I don't mind the knife.
The knife was brought upstairs. The knife shouldn't have been downstairs.
I don't really mind the knife. I
don't understand. I realized that I never caught her fucking knitting before she answered the phone before. I remember her stabbing with the knitting thing. I never realized she was actually knitting when the phone rings.
She's that chick.
Who the fuck knits?
A lot of people. It's the 70s. My wife still knits. I think she knits. She might cross stitch. I don't know. One of the things.
I don't know. Dude, I don't know anybody who knits. Have you ever knitted?
No.
We're going to knit personal. Do you want to knit? We can knit during our next podcast.
That'd be so boring.
We could talk shit and knit.
Just hear the pins in the background just clicking.
Yeah. What are you doing? This is a beautiful cross stitch.
Yeah, just click, 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 click.
Jesus Christ.
But no, I'm talking about like the scene where him in the sheets.
Yeah.
Where she kind of steps back a little bit and he's gone. Okay, so she had to have seen him leave.
Yeah, because the camera cut away from him. The camera never. She never turned away from the window.
So
that's a choppy cut. There was a couple of different.
The scene where
shadows.
The scene where he's walking her ass down against the house, where Tommy won't carry his ass to the door.
Yeah.
And she comes through and then looks up and realizes, oh no, the window right there is open. But here's the thing: he didn't get to you yet.
No, he was right
got
behind
in the house and looked to the window and realized it's open. He never walked through that fucking window.
But somehow he already had cut the phone lines because she tried to call for help
and made his way in behind the sofa.
Yeah. There was a couple of choppy scenes. We saw a couple of shadows move in a couple of different places where they probably shouldn't have been. Well, one behind the couch, for one that really stuck out to both of us. The telekinesis that he had in this movie.
What, with the door in the laundry room?
With the door. He Leslie Vernon the shit out of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, the door slams mysteriously, and she can't get it open. But then later on, whenever Bob's gone, the door opens, and then like the door opens on its own, and Michael's like in the next room.
Yeah, I don't get that. There was some stuff that he's not that damn quick. I think that's where the whole walking run thing that everybody makes fun of in the horror movies were.
Yeah, I think it's more Jason.
Kind of. Well, I know, but you look at the movie that we're watching right now. There's no way that he could have got around that without doing a little walk run bullshit.
Now Jason ran a lot of his movies though.
Yeah.
In 3 he sprints.
Well, in the remake he has tunnels.
Yeah, I like the remake.
It was okay.
The remake was fucking fantastic. You shut the fuck up, sir.
It was okay.
You go eat a dick.
It was okay. It was absolutely okay. We're gonna argue about that remake.
Another minor negative I have about this movie.
Rob Zombie's Halloween was better than the remake of
Friday
fuck
the 13th. You. Fuck you and everything you stand for.
I'd stand on that. I will fucking stand on that and argue that point.
Oh God.
Not part 2. I'm not gonna attribute that to part
fuck 2. You. You like unicorns. I know you do.
You can't prove that. Although you had an opportunity to get that tattooed on me.
So
God, I'm so glad you.
Now I'm going with the unicorn.
I don't think
I know what I was going with. Couple of sound cues I was kind of weirded out. Not one in particular. When he jumps on the car and you get the it's like spacey kind of weird thing. I wasn't a big fan of that, but that was like a little minor nitpicky bullshit.
I didn't mind that.
I'm trying to think of the only other things I didn't care for, and
I was looking for a couple of. I don't have a whole bunch of notes. I think I was enjoying the whole. This right here written. Rip Lindsay's clothes off is written really big on this fucking movie. On this pad.
My other thing, my only other problem with this movie. What are the odds that Loomis stops at the one phone booth next to where Michael killed that guy by the truck?
Okay, movie. You got to have that movie. Okay, this is also 1978. There's probably very limited phone, and I will explain this to you. There's probably very limited places to make phone calls. Okay?
He's still 73 miles outside of Haddonfield.
Absolutely. Now, Michael driving the vehicle that he cracked a wrench into, not his hand. You can see the wrench clearly in there. I don't know where he got a wrench from. But Michael got into the station wagon, and he's driving to Haddonfield.
Yes.
Okay. He realizes, shit, I'm still in hospital gown. He's on the highway. There's nowhere to stop. Where's one place where people would stop? A payphone. Probably where the mechanic fucking stopped to call and check in or call and make sure the appointment was still set. So he sees this.
Wouldn't you rather take the fucking tow truck than the fucking government issued vehicle?
So well, yeah, probably. But he's a crazy person. So he stops where
he knows to stop at a payphone?
He doesn't see payphone. He sees clothes. He sees the mechanic stopped at the phone booth. So he stops and he kills the guy.
Okay.
So then Loomis comes by and he's trying to make a phone call. The first phone booth he comes upon is also where Michael just killed this guy. That's not that far-fetched.
Yeah, I'll take that.
Not that far-fetched.
Yeah, I'll take that. So, yeah.
All right.
We good.
All right.
Rating.
You're gonna go with a 50 again, aren't you?
I am.
You are? I think I'm gonna agree with you on it.
This is probably my favorite horror movie ever.
Yeah. This is one of my
This is top 3 favorite movies of all time. Yeah.
This is a movie that I've watched over and over again.
Oh, and I'm going to continue to watch over and over again.
Yeah.
It's one of my favorite movies.
This is a movie that I have not gone a year without seeing ever.
Yep.
Since I first watched it.
And this probably won't be our last review of this movie, guys. We'll probably talk about this movie several times throughout the course of this.
There's going to be a lot of things. There was a couple things that after I watched it now as an adult and I'm trying to critique it, I was trying to pull myself back. And I made a big old stink about I wasn't going to give another movie 50. I already had this planned out.
Yeah. Yeah.
I knew that was coming. I'm sure you knew that as well.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Because we've talked about this movie since we started this fucking podcast, and we intentionally held back on this particular franchise because it's both one that we hold dear to our hearts and we love so fucking much.
It's so cliched for YouTubers and podcasters that this...
Well, everybody, when they start up, they want to do the big 3. They want to do Friday the 13th. They want to do Nightmare on Elm Street. They want to do Halloween. Yeah. That's like the big 3 tokens. Like, you can still throw in Leatherface and Chucky and Ghostface and all those other ones, but the big 3... that are the pioneers of this fucking horror movie slasher genre. Everybody wants to immediately jump on those,
and they immediately regret it.
And they always
not
have.
immediately, but later on.
Later on in their careers, whenever they're looking back, like, man, we could have did so much better to honor this movie than what we did.
Yep. So, and if you haven't watched this movie, guys, there's a lot more behind the scenes stuff that we didn't touch on, like the idea of the mask.
It's a William Shatner mask.
It's a William Shatner mask. They found 2 masks. It was a clown mask and a William Shatner mask.
I'm so glad they went the way they did.
Yeah, in which what they did was they turned it inside out, cut out the eye holes bigger, and they painted it white.
Spray painted it white.
And that's where you get the classic Michael Myers mask from, which is fucking creepy.
Which you see our Michael in the background.
Yes.
This is it's a replica of the original 1978 Michael Myers mask.
Yep.
As one of our first of hopefully many tokens that we have hanging around. If you notice, that's how much we love this movie. I didn't have to buy this for this podcast.
Yeah, I
already had this shit. Loved it.
That is one of the small pieces of lore that we didn't really get into.
Well, a lot of if you're listening to this podcast, you probably already know most of it. Most of the stuff that people already kind of go around and say shit. I mean, the William Shatner thing is really not that big of a fucking thing anymore because everybody freaking knows it.
Yeah, exactly. I'm trying to think of some of the other little things that I know from all the documentaries, all the behind the scenes crap, interviews, and everything else I've watched about this movie. Yeah. That it's one of those things where you can't fit it all into a podcast, not without making it 3 hours long.
I was about to say we'd be sitting here talking all fucking night. This video has already reached 40 minutes.
Yeah,
which is well over what we try to
do.
We try not to go over that fucking mark, but we could both talk about this movie for forever. I mean, going back to you've read the novel, right?
Yes.
I actually had an opportunity to do it as well. It's a fucking amazing read.
It's great. I like the idea of him being aroused by the murders and
yeah. See, it brings this whole other element to it, and the whole purpose was John Carpenter did not want anybody to relate. No, they didn't. He wasn't supposed to be likable. He wasn't supposed to have a motive, which is why the whole sister thing pissed off. It was just, I like killing.
Yes,
stab, stab, stab. That's it.
Yep.
I just want to stab things.
Yeah.
Until they stop being alive.
It's the Dahmer thing.
Yeah, I want to stab things.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
He's eating nobody's biceps.
The silence, the complete silence of Michael Myers in this movie is, of course, another staple of Michael never talks.
Yeah. Just breathes real heavy.
He breathes real heavy.
COPD is a bitch.
He's a motherfucker. He's going down. I want to see Michael Myers with asthma. Somebody do this.
Yeah.
I want to see somebody do it. But yeah, the whole thing is he hasn't talked in 15 years and since he's been in the asylum. So little kid snaps, grows up. Little kid snaps, kills his sister, goes to asylum, grows up completely silent. They say that he can talk, he just doesn't.
Yeah, he just doesn't want to.
Fucking crazy, which you always have to think.
He's a crazy person.
He's a crazy person. You always have to think in the back of your mind, if he ever spoke to himself inside of that fucking cell.
Oh, I don't know. I just hope he probably sound like Mike Tyson. Just
yeah. I'm a stabber.
I stabbed Judith.
I stab so good. I cut your ear off and eat it.
If you go to Rob Zombie's movies, he talks.
Yeah, God, don't
die.
I hate that. Then in Rob Zombie's Part 2, where he doesn't just do the heavy breathing, he does as he stabs.
I didn't mind that.
I didn't mind that as much.
The first 20 minutes of
I didn't mind that
Rob
as much.
Zombie's
as
Halloween 2 was fucking pretty good. He was just brutal as fuck.
Yeah,
it was pretty good. I didn't mind the grunting because he grunts in this one.
Not that loudly or not that much.
And he grunts.
He does. I know. I heard him. I remember him.
Yeah.
I paid specific attention to that because I knew it was going to be a point of contention between us.
In fact, when he's choking Laurie at the end, when she pulls his mask off, he's
yeah. He also does it when he's strangling Linda with the phone card.
Yep. Sure enough. Yeah, you're right.
You hear him pass some grunts and everything. But that was part of his. He's releasing that rage.
Yeah.
And of course, while he's doing that, she's releasing her inner phone sex operator. She goes straight. I'm being strangled. She liked being choked. I guarantee it. We'll never fucking know because Bob only lasted like 20 seconds.
Yeah.
That was the quickest.
Judith's old man.
Dude, Judith's old man. All the sex in this movie was like,
boom,
really,
wham,
it was like,
bam,
wham, bam, and I'm done. Yeah. It was 2 pumps and a grind. It was fucking over with. I think that they could have showed the whole sex scene and it still wouldn't up its rating to NC-17.
Yeah.
It wasn't long enough.
Yeah. Call me. Yeah.
Call you. And you know what? You got to give
phone call lasts longer.
You got to give it to Linda. She made him feel great about himself.
Yeah, she did.
He climbed on top, did and rolled off, and she was like, "Oh, that was great." Fuck you, no, it wasn't. There was no fucking way it was great. She didn't have enough time to get wet.
If she wasn't so annoying, she'd be the best girlfriend ever.
She was just so fucking annoying. God, she was so annoying. Hey, after sex,
trust me, the characters in this franchise get much more annoying.
They were so fucking bitchy, and you pointed that out. It made me hate it so much more.
Yeah, they were shitty friends.
They were horrible fucking friends. They really were.
They picked on Laurie most of the fucking beginning of this movie.
They were fucking bullies. They picked on Laurie. Yeah. They talked about how shitty it was that she was trying to be a good person.
Yeah, you're such a Girl Scout.
Okay, so one other before we sign off because we are reaching. People have already probably tuned out because we've already spoken our fucking ratings and all this other shit like that. But I have one more point that we discussed while we were watching the movie is whether or not Laurie Strode smokes marijuana.
Yeah, she smokes weed.
I believe absolutely because apparently there was an argument involving that.
Yes,
she is absolutely smoking.
I had somebody tell me that was a cigarette she was smoking in the car. I'm like, no, dude, that is definitely a joint.
No, she's fucking and. She's
and
coughing.
By the way, Sheriff Brackett definitely smelled it.
He smelled that shit, and he's just like, fuck it. Yeah. What are you gonna do?
It's the 70s.
It's the 70s. They're not at Woodstock. They're fine.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Anyway, we're gonna sign off now because this is getting a little.
Yeah, guys. Remember to find us on YouTube, SoundCloud, Stitcher, Pandora, Spotify.
iTunes.
And iTunes. And hopefully by the time you listen to this, we should be on Google Play Store.
Yeah, well, by
Google Play Podcast, whatever.
Yeah, by the time this comes out, we should be on there. So
yep. So find us there. They're there.
They're there now.
I want to say there as well.
Carry on, whole sport.
Make sure you're subscribing, following, liking,
commenting, talking shit. Do what you got to do.
And sharing. Please share these videos.
Yeah.
It gets the word out there, and it gets other people listening, especially if you know anybody has sick-ass sense of humor like ours. It really helps.
Yeah, absolutely. Get involved in the conversation.
And we prepare for next week because next week we go into Halloween 2.
Oh, yeah. That's sibling rivalry.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mom loved you better. All right, guys, we're out of here.